Hello, I'm Bex with Black Whisper Crafts, and I just want to come on and do a flip through of a journal I just completed. And I made it out of a Cheez-it box for the cover, and all of the pages on the inside, except for a few that are coffee and tea dyed, are packing paper. When I get packing paper in the mail or in packages or what have you, I will cut them to roughly 8.5 by 11 and then just put them in my folder here and just file them away. And when I need them, then they will be already kind of this size that I need. This is for me personally to use. I debated on whether to show it, whether anyone would want to see a journal made out of Cheez-it Box and packing, but I just wanted to show it. I really like I really like how it turned out. A little tassel there. My favorite things, I love jute cord, and I love black lace, and I love black beads. I think that turned out nicely. And, of course, black eyelash trim. I have the little, I don't know what that's called, to put your tassel on. It is a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. I just think that that holds it a hand-bound journal better. And this is just some Dollar Tree fabric that I dyed. So we have more of the browns. And this is a gorgeous, just a little print from Temu, and I just made a little border with some little script cardstock. Let's get into it. And of course I put lace in the front and the back, the same spot as that. And I have a pocket here, and this is packaging from Graphic 45 packaging. Made a pocket in the front and the back, and I do have this envelope in the front and the back, just decorated differently. The gorgeous owl with adventure there. And I like to actually write in my journals, but a lot of times I will be somewhere or somewhere else in the house, and I'll just pick up a little piece of paper and journal on it. So that's why I have a lot of little pieces of paper in here. Because I do like to just journal, and then I will just glue them in or just tuck them somewhere in there, my journal. And this is a pocket. Gorgeous purple, black lace. Here's purple, and you could actually tuck something under there, or you can just tuck it right there. Just some cardstock. It says Together. That came out of a magazine or junk mail or something. And some little, just a scrap of paper that's an envelope fold with the word secret that came off some packing, and some little scrap of lace. And this piece here was, and I don't know if you can see it or not, overcast whenever I sprayed some of the Tim Holtz sprays, and I just kept it. It has a really cool texture. Spraying Tim Holtz sprays on coffee and tea and toffee dyed paper is really cool. And this was just something I was stamping off of, and I did stamp that with the villainous potion. I think that's the name of it. Tim Holtz purple. This is just a bobby pin. My hair is really long and really curly, so these kinds of things get tangled all up in there, so I just use them in my journals. This is just an extended page. And those are bones, memories, and just a scrap of lace. There's a lot of scraps in here, and packaging, and trash, most people would say. But this I personally made for myself. There's a little scrap of trash right there, orange. And put some washi tape there to help hold that piece of paper there. It's one of my ephemeras I made. I made it into a little pocket. Just a little scrap there, and just some little stamping. But this is just a little scrap of paper. Put some lines on the back of it. And the spider web stamp. Thought that was fun. I'm going to try to go through this quickly because there are quite a few pages. Each section has 24 pages, and there's 3, so what's that, 72? And this is extended page. It was part of a map, and just a skull stamp. Winners, that came out of not sure what, magazine or something probably. And a little Tim Holtz snippet, just some papers to journal on. You can extend it that way and continue writing. This is Graphic 45, one of their Life is Abundant. This is Stamp Pad, the butterfly. Just some little scraps here for some interest down there in the corner. And this is Romeo and Juliet, part of the play. So I just cut a piece, put there because it was a little scrap. This says Scene 3, just a scrap of lace. And you can, when you stamp, this packing paper is so thin you can see through it. So it just adds a little more interest, I think. This is a Graphic 45 dragonfly. Just put a little bit of scrap thread behind that. I just stapled this with my copper staple, that little tiny scrap of lace. This is the signature of the first signature. That's just a scrap, and this is a scrap of lace, and all of these are scraps. This is some really pretty paper that I thought I would really like to journal on, and I have left these in a bow because I think I might put some charms on them. I'm not sure. So, and this is a Graphic 45 right there. The Life is Abundant. I thought that just made a cute little tuck spot for my little skeleton guy. Those are scraps right there, and this is Distress Inked and water sprayed on it. And this is just a little envelope with some little scraps in it, so I can journal on them or use them to make ephemera or something. Just stamping over that, just a scrap there for a tab. Just some scraps up here in the corner for interest, and the belly band with, of course, my skull stamp. And this is an envelope, and I collaged on it a bit with some just papers in it, so I can use them to journal on, what have you. And this is just a sticker, and I just added this on. There was a hole in the sticker, so you could make it a tag. So I just, oh, I really messed that up. Whatever I did to it, I'll fix it later. Supposed to be nice, pretty circles. But anyway, we carry on here. That's just a scrap. That was just a scrap. And of course that is, use my Tim Holtz tiny attacher to put those cute little staples there. Just did some stamping on it. Turn on that, turn on this sheet. And just used my copper staples to just staple that little scrap of lace on there. And this, I love tea. So tea bag, and I like the sun. Just pull it out and journal on it that way, or all the way this way. Just fold it back in. Just use my washi to help hold it on there. And here's just a scrap I used to make a pocket. Some journaling sheets. And my little favorite stamp from the Dollar Tree. And this is coffee or toffee tea dyed. And this is the back of that was overspray from the Tim Holtz sprays. That's just a sticker. This is gorgeous. Just a piece I really like. A lot of these pieces are from journals I've made over the past, I don't know, few months, and I just kept scraps because I like them. And this is Dark Night under there, but when I sewed around it, I sewed right on the T, so it just looked like Dark Night. So I put my bat over that, glued it on there, and it looks so pretty. Just journal. This is the second signature. There's a belly band. I love these envelopes. The vellum, and they're beautiful marbled. I just put a sticker on it and just stuck a scrap in there. I could journal on that, but I like how you can see through it. It's a struggle, but we'll get there. Here we go. Tuck it back under there. Of course, my bats, and then here's a moon journal card. Bats on there, and a scrap of lace, stamping. And there's a scrap there for the page tuck. And some scraps here. I love book pages. These are from those little Creepers books. Pretty little scrap there. This is from the front of some 6x6 pieces of scrapbook paper. And spit it all out. You can understand me. Words are running away from me again. Okay. Then I really like this one since I got it perfectly right there. Is that not cool? Journal page back in there. And there's some stamping here in the purple. This was just when I put this die through my die cut, I have to put another piece on top of it for it to completely cut it. And that is just the embossed, it just embossed that image on it. Looks pretty cool. So I just inked it up and put it down there for the pocket. And here's another journal card with some cool cool tool. Yeah. Some more of that lace, and just use my copper staples to staple that down. Just a little bit of inking, stamping, and my bat there. Another sticker, just a scrap there. Journal, and this whole page just kind of goes together. I think it's really cool. And the page ripped, so I the page ripped, so I mended it. And when I put my signatures in, I put this signature in, this page in upside down. So I just glued that scrap on top of it. So it all goes together. It looks great. And this is just packaging, but I like it. So I made it into a tag. So it's original. That's just one of my little snippet collage thingies, whatever I made. And of course, black lace. Here's another pocket. This is the center of the second signature, 1917. It was just a scrap offcut there, and I made it into a pocket. Just put this little journal card in there. Just some stamping here. And this is an extended page. Here are the bugs that I made, the insects. And I will link the video below in case you want to know how I did those. Just pulls out here, and then of course you can journal there. And then I also glued this down for a pocket. Journal card there. Here's some little scraps to journal on here. That's Graphic 45. That's out of one of my cut and collage books, and I just stapled this on with that scrap of lace with my copper staples. Here is another pocket with a scrap with the moon on it. I just stapled that little scrap of lace to the side. And I like this key. It's been on my desk forever, so I found a spot for it. I was so excited. And I like this clock. These clocks here are really cool. Pocket watches, I mean. Just some little scraps of paper to journal on, put notes, what have you. And this is Graphic 45 here, and these two. One of my children is a Gemini. My other child is a Cancer, and I am a Cancer sign, and so is my Joe. So I only needed 2 signs up there to represent my family. This is just a little scrap of toffee dyed paper. Stamp a bat on there. It's another scrap here. There's another scrap that I use for the border. I like this frog. He's been hanging out, this frog ticket on my desk forever. So I put him in here since this is for myself. I really like him. Just lots of space to journal. You can just glue things on top of this Creepers book page. This is pretty cool. I like that. Put the purple inked it up in purple, and then journal. Here's the owl. I can journal on the back of that. And notes. Okay, we're at the 3rd signature, and I did not put lace between these two, between the 1st and 2nd and 3rd signatures, because I probably, if I use it for a long time, I probably will glue. I could actually put another signature, a really small signature in there, because that's a lot of space. Or I could glue, you know, some extended page or something in there. It's another one of those bobby pins, and it's kind of soft metal, but it works to just hold things in. There we go. This is the beginning of the last signature. This is some paper that I dyed with turmeric tea. It had turmeric in it. Just some stamping, and this is a pretty scrap of lace. Stapled on with my copper staples and a little bit of stamping. That's a Tim Holtz Snippet Butterfly. I just think this is really pretty. Not a real big fan of hearts, but I really like the hearts in the vintage and antique keys, so I had to have that in here. This is just one of my favorite craft paper envelopes, and I just did stamping all over it. Just a little sheet of paper in here to journal on. That's really pretty. I like that purple. And this is just some paper that's been sitting on my desk for a while. So I just made an extended page out of it. That'd be great to journal on, some more journaling space. This is another graphic 45. There are always flowers for those who want to see them. This is the Life is Abundant collection. This is from it also. From my little envelopes, little Tim Holtz snippet. And just a bunch of little scrappies in here to glue on or journal on or what have you. And this just says night, and I just glued some of my favorite lace on there and a little bitty scrap there behind it to add a little bit of interest. And here's another pocket. This one didn't stamp off very well, but I kept it because I like it. Just because it's the bones of a hand bones. There we go. And I just did my bad stamping all over this. Just folded it as an envelope, but it's just a scrap of paper. And this is the middle, the center of the last signature. Stamping there. Some stamping there. This has been on my desk for a while because I really liked it. So I just stamped notes on there and I popped it in here. Just another little scrap of paper. Here's a scrap of toffee dyed paper with a sticker. Just journal on that. Plenty of blank spaces to journal. Another Tim Holtz snippet. And this is a piece of, I'm not sure what you call that, texture. And then the gold tulle. And then a piece of the lace. And I just glued them all on there. And stapled them all on there and then glued the whole thing on. I think that turned out really cool. I like that. Another piece of the Creepers little sheets of paper and toffee dyed it. There's the last page, a gorgeous castle, and same as the front, same envelope as the front. I just put that rose on there. This, just some pieces of paper in here to journal on the backs of them. And I could just take a little bit of glue and glue it down, and I could flip it over and see what I have journaled. And then the same thing as the front, the graphic 45 packaging. Use that. And I like to put a clip in mine so that if I have something that I want to put in there, but don't know where I want to put it, I can just clip it in. And then add it at a later date. And this is my personal journal that I will be using. I already have things to glue in that I have journaled on. But I just wanted to show it. The little tassel, I think it turned out really nice, and it started out as a Cheez-it box and some packing paper. I'm Bex with Black Whisper Crafts. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a wonderful crafty day.